Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are sharing our California Zephyr route guide.
The California Zephyr runs from Chicago to Emeryville, California and connects to San Francisco via bus. In our opinion, it's the most scenic route in the United States.
So the California Zephyr is one, like Rob said, one of the most scenic rides. And one of the things that you are going to encounter if you're looking to work on the train, which you really shouldn't, is that there is no Wi-Fi service on the California Zephyr. And actually, for a lot of the ride, there's also not going to be cell service, right?
Yeah, when you enter the canyons in Colorado, you will be losing pretty much all service altogether. So whatever you need to get done or messages sent, do that before you get to the canyon portion of Colorado because you won't have Wi-Fi or cell service.
That's right. And you're actually probably going to be busy in the observation car.
Yeah, the observation car is amazing on the California Zephyr. Probably the best stretch of track in the United States, I think, is that 4 hours after Denver. If you're going towards the West Coast, it is just beautiful. You either want to be in your room if you have a sleeping car arrangement or in the observation car for that. So make sure that you get down there right after the train leaves Denver. Grab your spot. It won't start right at that time, but pretty soon after that, you know, and they'll start to fill up. So you need to get a spot, otherwise you're going to miss out completely.
Yeah, you'll want to get there a little bit early. And then the another service that is provided on the California Zephyr is there is a dining car, and the dining car is available only to the sleeper car passengers at this time.
Yeah, so the dining car is where you'll eat all your meals if you are in a sleeper car, and they are included with your tickets. So that'll be breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And they will give you an assigned time to come down to the dining car. You pick that sometime that day, and they'll have you come down, and you can sit. And right now they are doing, you'll get your table to yourself. So just for your group of people, however many people are in your room or bedroom, you'll have that table to yourself. So the dining car is a great place also to watch the scenery. And if you want to kind of plan it out to be there during one of those scenic moments, you'll have a great lunch or dinner, whatever it is.
Yes, and then what is available to all the passengers on the train is the cafe. Yeah,
the cafe, which is right underneath the observation car, is available most of the day. They do go on break for a few hours a day, and it's not open late at night. So you can buy hot dogs, pizza, hot food. They also have some cold food and all kinds of drinks available in the cafe.
And then another great thing about this, the California Zephyr, about this train route is that you can check your bags as well.
Yeah, the checked baggage is something we definitely recommend you use because space is tight on the train and you don't want to have unnecessary bags cluttering up your room. It is going to be small enough without doing that to yourself. So check that bag, take advantage of this service because you will want to have every square inch you can in your room or roomette. The big thing everyone wants to know with the California Zephyr or any Amtrak train is how much is it going to cost? So there's a wide range of outcomes on this depending on when you book and what kind of deal you get. I'm going to break it down for you a little bit here. If you were just to go online and buy a coach ticket for 2 people right now, it would cost you about $350 to go the length of the route. But if you were to get a sleeper car, it would cost you around $1,000 to go the length of the route. They do, however, have a buy one get one free sale most years, and they've had it for the last 2 years actually, which you can use for quite a chunk of the year. So when that comes out, that is what we got our ticket on last year, and it cost us $563 to go in a roomette for the entire length from Chicago to Emeryville. And that does include your meals and some drinks thrown in. So when you compare that to the $352 of the coach class, it's only a couple $100 more to get a roomette at that point. So that is the way to go. If you can hold out and wait for the buy one get one free sale, that is definitely what I would recommend. We do have a link to that sale in our description below. We kind of go over what to look for on our blog of how to get that deal and when they happen and how to secure your tickets. So check that out if you're interested in that. As far as the accommodations you can get on this train, there is a coach class, and the coach class does have seats that lay back quite a bit further than an airplane would. So it is not uncomfortable, but for 2 nights, if you're going the whole way, for us, that's a little more than we want to do in coach. We've done 1 night, that's the longest we've done, 1 overnight in coach, and that was good, that was fine. 2 probably would have been more than we wanted to do. So keep that in mind if you're going coach. The next room up from that is the Roomette, which this is a superliner train. So the Roomettes will not have a bathroom in the actual room. The bathroom will be in your sleeper car, and you'll be sharing that with a few other people in your sleeper car. The Roomette does have upper and lower bunks, so make sure you have someone that wants to sleep on the upper. It is a little bit tighter than the lower bunk. After that, you do have the bedroom, which is basically twice the size of a roomette. And unfortunately, it's still, you would think it does, but it doesn't have 2 people sleeping on the bottom. It still has the upper and lower, but you do get a bathroom in your room, so you don't have to share that with everybody else. And the next one up from that is going to be the family bedroom. So the family bedroom differs from the bedroom in that 4 people can sleep there, and it is the only room that does have 2 people could sleep on the bottom. So 2 people on the bottom, 2 people on the top, but in order to do that, they take out the bathroom. So you'll be sharing a bathroom with people in your car if you're in the family bedroom. And then the last type of room you could get is the accessible bedroom, which again has the upper and lower berth, but you do have an accessible bathroom in your actual cabin in your room. So that is great if you want to do that, and those are all located on the lower level. So Amtrak does have a ton of options for you here. If you want to take this ride the whole way, do a little research on that. We've got some videos on the channel on what it looks like to actually stay in one of these rooms, see how tight it is, and if you can handle it. We love doing it, and I think you'll love it too. This is a great route to go ahead and splurge and get the roomette or the bedroom on.
So here's some fun facts about the train. The length of the journey, the total length of the journey on the California Zephyr is 2,438 miles, and that is completed generally in about 51.5 hours. The top speed on the train is going to be about 79 miles an hour. Now the average speed is actually about 55 miles an hour, because what happens is once you enter into the canyon and the gorges and even going through some of the tunnels, they are going to slow down considerably, especially in the scenic part, so that you can actually enjoy that part of it. So they do slow down there, and then of course they slow down when they're driving, going through some of the towns and different things like that. There are different speed limits, or if they're crossing or passing freight trains as well. So there are different times when they will need to slow the speed down so they don't just jet across there really quickly. So these are kind of just some fun facts to know about how fast you're going and how far you're going and how long it's going to take you on the California Zephyr.
So the food plan on the California Zephyr is going to be treated a little bit differently with how you want to partake of your meals, because you really need to decide, do you want to eat in your room? Do you want to eat in the dining car? Right. Do you want to eat in the observation car? Mm-hmm. Because if you just kind of get up and move around all the time, you're going to lose your spot. Right. So you need to decide where you want to see the views from, and you can have your meals delivered basically to your room or to the observation car, or just go to the dining car to eat. So that's going to depend, for the most part, how you eat on this train, because it is there is so much scenery to see. You'll really want to take that into account, because you don't want to get hungry, have a great spot in the observation car, and then get up and have to go leave and then be seated on the wrong side. So as we talk about what views are the best out of what side, that'll help you a little bit. So just to kind of go over that now, the south side of the train does have, in our opinion, the best views. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
But they are shorter. So the north side of the train has also amazing views, not quite as good as the south side, but they're going to be for a longer period of time.
Right.
So you just kind of have to make a decision on that. And that is why it is good to eat in the observation car, because you can see both ways pretty easily.
Yes, yeah, and that's nice. And they do have the tables in there too, so it's not like you're just sitting in the seats facing the windows.
Yeah.
There are tables in the observation car, so that's great, because it's basically set up for you to be able to eat there, so that's good.
Exactly. So what were some of your favorite meals on the California Zephyr?
On the California Zephyr, I had two that I liked the most. One of them was the enchiladas, and the other one was the Asian noodle bowl. And those are actually both part of the vegetarian section of the menu.
Oh, really?
Yes. So that was really nice to see that they had so many different types of options. I mean, they have some seafood on there. You know, they have some rice meals and that kind of stuff. The nice thing about it is that you're not just getting just that meal, it's a whole meal. So we're talking about, you get your dish, but you also get a salad, you get a roll, obviously you get your drink with it as well, of which you get one free alcoholic beverage per ride per person. And then you also get a dessert to choose from as well. And that's at both lunch and dinner. So you kind of have to watch yourself a little bit on the train, because you end up eating a lot of food and you're not really moving around a lot.
Yeah, a couple times they gave us some extra desserts to take back to the room too, so that can really add up pretty quickly. So yeah, my favorite meal was the pasta with meatballs on this train, as it is on every train. But I really like that one. I also like the beef. So they've got a lot of choices for everybody, depending on what your taste is or what you're looking for. Really, the food was really quite good on the California Zephyr. And that's just in the dining room. In the cafe, they also have some good options. They've got mac and cheese, which we've had. They have pizza, which we've had. They have hot dogs and
hamburger,
all kinds of drinks. So really something for everyone. Now, a question we get a lot about food on these is, how is the coffee? So I'm going to ask you.
Well, as a big coffee drinker, it's comparable to like coffee you would get on a plane. It's really the best way to describe it. It's not the world's greatest coffee. It's not the world's worst coffee, but it's drinkable. How about that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's not bad. It takes the edge off if you're really needing some coffee, which I pretty much do all the time.
Yeah. And for breakfast, options are a little more limited, but they do have yogurts and such like that. And then there is one hot menu item, which is the
breakfast sandwich.
The breakfast sandwich,
yes,
which has like sausage, egg, and cheese on it.
Yes.
And we did find that they will kind of shut that breakfast down at a certain time. But if one of you is sleeping in, which in our case would be me, one person can go get two of them and save them for the other person down in the dining room of the observation car. They don't care if you sit down there after breakfast time and are still eating.
Yeah, it wasn't ever a problem. Most of the time, I mean, they already knew me after the first day, so I would just order your sandwich, and he would wait to warm it up until I was leaving the dining car. So that was really nice. They're very accommodating, the attendants, especially your room attendant and also in the dining car, and they usually work together, which is really helpful also for the passengers on the train. So great service. Yeah,
because on a longer train like this, they do get to know you after you've been on there for 2 or 3 days, so they'll know what you want to do by that second day and kind of have it ready for you. So it's great.
So let's talk about the major stations that you're going to encounter on the California Zephyr. Of course, starting out in Chicago, and from there going to be heading into Omaha, and then Denver, Salt Lake City, Reno, and of course arriving into Emeryville, which is the San Francisco station. Now, the states that you're going to be going through, you'll be going through quite a few states, starting out, of course, in Illinois, zipping through Iowa, through Nebraska, and then, of course, into Colorado for all that gorgeous scenery, and then from there into Utah, Nevada, and, of course, arriving into California.
The California Zephyr travels through the Colorado River Valley and shows you some of the most amazing scenery in the entire country.
Yes, and from here you're going to travel along the Colorado River Valley. You're going to go through the Rockies. You're going to go into Moffat Tunnel, which is 6.2 miles. It's a long time in the darkness, and you will hear them give you warnings about heading into your roomette if you are there and not going in between cars. It is very dusty, and a lot of allergens do enter the train regardless because it comes in through the air system, but just listen to them because you're really going to be affected by those if you have any trouble with allergies. And while you're in Moffat Tunnel, you're going to be crossing the Continental Divide as well, which is kind of cool. And then you'll see the water change directions in the rivers as you go through to the other side of the Continental Divide. So that's kind of cool. You're also going to travel through Winter Park Resort, through Ruby Canyon. West of Grand Junction, you're also going to encounter Utah, which is where you'll be arriving into Salt Lake City and the Wasatch Front after Soldier Summit. So there's just so much that you're going to see here. Also going traveling kind of above Donner Pass, looking down at the lake. So much you're going to see in this area. What was your favorite thing or region or area or whatever that we saw?
Yeah, my favorite was definitely going through the canyons in Colorado. Those are just spectacular. But surprisingly, I really did like seeing Donner Pass and Donner Lake, and that's going to be out of the north side of the train. So if you're waiting to see that, definitely be on the north side of the train when you go through that portion of California. But the canyons in Colorado are just amazingly, they're the showstoppers of the entire Amtrak system. So if you're booking this route, that's what you're going for. Make sure you are ready to see that because they are spectacular.
Yes, and like you said, the best time really to head towards the observation car to make sure that you have a good spot for seeing these sites. You said it was after you go through Denver, if you're going towards San Francisco.
After Denver, if you're going towards San Francisco, and if you're going towards Chicago, it'll be right when you enter into Colorado.
Okay, great. So that kind of gives us an idea of when is a good time to be at your observation car, or make sure you're in your roomette so that you can see out the window. So that's great. So a lot of great sites here. I mean, that's what this route is known for, is for the incredible scenic views. And really, it's so different every time of the year that you go. If you go in the summer, it's going to be beautiful and you'll see all kinds of fun activities on the water. If you go in the fall, you'll see the incredible colors, which is what we got to see. And then if you go in the winter, you're going to see snow along the banks of the gorges and the rivers and on the mountains, and it's going to be just as beautiful. I really don't know what would be the best time to go. Just try to go all of the times so that you can see all of those, because it really just, like I said, we got to experience the leaves changing, but I would imagine that it would be just as beautiful in the summer and even, gorgeous with the snow on it too.
Yeah, you can't go wrong on this route. Your station in Chicago for the California Zephyr is Union Station, and it is probably the best Amtrak station in the country. So on this train, you're getting a lot of great things. You're getting one of the best routes, the best station to start at. And this is so great because it is like an old station from bygone era, which just looks like it's this grand place, and you really get the sense that you're going to be doing something special. when you start at Union Station in Chicago. And on top of that, they have an incredible Metropolitan Lounge.
Yes. Yes, the Metropolitan Lounge is actually 2 floors and plenty of space, and you can just sit there and relax, and a guide someone will take you to your train platform when it's time. They make very clear announcements, so you're not going to miss that. And they have TVs there where you can sit and watch the news or whatever is on the TV while you're sitting there waiting, or you can go upstairs where it's nice and quiet and everyone's just kind of doing their own things. And you do have access also to bathrooms that are only accessible through the Metropolitan Lounge, which is really nice as well. So they're not going to be super busy, which is a really good feature as well. The Chicago Union Station, also great thing about it is that there are tons of restaurants and shops as well. So if you have to sit there and wait for a long time and you don't really want to sit around and you just want to go walk around, you can go walk around upstairs and maybe grab a snack or something if you want to at one of those restaurants, or even pick up a souvenir if you're not from Chicago and you want to bring something home with you. You can grab a souvenir in this area upstairs as well. So it's got a lot to offer.
Yeah, and the Metropolitan Lounge is available to anyone in a sleeper car. And also you could buy a day pass if you want to go to the lounge and you're just in coach. But otherwise, if you're in a sleeper car, it is included. Now, when you're thinking about beginning or ending your trip in Chicago, there are a few places around you could stay, and probably the closest one to Union Station is the Hyatt Place downtown, the Loop. So we have a link to that on our blog if you want to go check that out, on our California Zephyr route guide, where we recommend you stay if you want to have an easy access to a hotel either before or after. It is within walking distance. It's not the closest though, so it's a little bit of a walk, but it's manageable, and we do recommend staying there because there's not really anything better as far as getting you close.
Yeah, and the nice thing about Chicago Union Station is there are plenty of taxis literally right outside the door when you walk out onto the street. There's taxis sitting there waiting, so you can easily just grab a taxi and zip you over to the hotel if you don't want to schlep your bags through downtown Chicago. Or, of course, you can also get an Uber if you want to go someplace else as well.
Right.
There are rental car agencies near the station that are walkable as well, right?
Right, yeah.
Yep.
The other station on the other end is going to be Emeryville, which it's not going to take you all the way to San Francisco. So if you want to go to San Francisco, you'll have to get on a bus connection in Emeryville. So the Emeryville station is not as big as Chicago, obviously, and doesn't have nearly the services. It's just a small station with just a little bit of food and just a little bit of services, and not really much. You won't really be spending much time there. So
no, if you don't have to, you're not going to be hanging out there.
Yeah. One nice thing that it does have is there are about 3 or 4 hotels that are within walking distance of the station, and that is what we did. We actually stayed at one of those hotels. There's again, for some reason, there's another Hyatt Place on this end, which is the closest hotel to the station. And we just got off the station, walked our bags on the street, and just walked to the hotel, and it was no problem at all. When you come in from Chicago, you'll be getting in during the daylight hours, so not a problem at all. If you just want to walk to one of those hotels, I think that would be perfectly acceptable. The California Zephyr is a great train to pair up with some other Amtrak routes and make a longer vacation. And that's exactly what we did when we were on this. We did the California Zephyr, the Coast Starlight, and the Empire Builder to make a complete loop. So the great thing about doing that is if you get them on the buy one, get one free sale, they're not that expensive. I think it was about, for all 3 trains, it was about $1,500 to do. And it ended up being a 14-day Amtrak vacation, which was pretty good. And then we rented a car in Seattle, rented a car in Chicago, and got to see some other things.
Yes.
So the other way you could do that is you could take the California Zephyr to Emeryville and go south from there to Los Angeles on the Coast Starlight. And then from Los Angeles, you could take either the Texas Eagle or the Southwest Chief to get back to Chicago. So going that way, there's a lot of different loops you can make if you want to make like a big, grand kind of dream vacation out of it. Really fun way to do it, and if you get a sale on these roomettes or rooms, you know, you can't really beat that. Even better, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing is that a lot of people ask us about safety on Amtrak and on when you ride the trains. And honestly, we can answer, you know, after having been on so many train rides with Amtrak, is that we felt completely safe the entire time. One of the great things, I think, is because the staff is always incredibly attentive. They're always paying attention. They're always walking through. They're always available. When they're there, it doesn't take you very long to find a staff person, right? So we have seen problems on the train before, and they are taken care of immediately, like literally just dealt with immediately. And even a few times they've had to remove people from the train, and they've done that at the very next station. So they take care of it right away if there's any issues. Some things that you can do that will help you have a better experience and have less to worry about as far as, you know, safety or protecting your valuables or whatever is one thing is if you can check your big suitcase, then definitely take advantage of that service because it is a great thing. Yes, there's luggage racks on most of the train cars, but you don't want to have to worry about, oh, I gotta go down and check if my bag is there, or you're not gonna be right next to it for the most part. So it's good to just go ahead and check it and just kind of forget about it until you get to the station where you're going. The other thing is that bring on as little as possible. If you're gonna be in coach, you're going to want to keep track of anything that's valuable. So if you leave to go to the bathroom or to go get something to eat and you're by yourself, it's going to be harder for you because you're going to have to bring those things with you every time that you leave your seat. I wouldn't leave them behind. And then I've heard people have used like, you know, bike chains to kind of chain their bags to the bar up above where you store your luggage. But, you know, again, it's less hassle. The, you know, less stuff you bring on, the better, because you don't really have to think about it then.
Exactly. And then there's 3 ways to book your Amtrak trip. First is on Amtrak.com, which just go to their website. You can book whatever you want there. Some people have difficulty with their website though, and it can be difficult to figure out what your options are. So that's why on our blog we've kind of listed for each train what other trains you could connect them to and what's near it and what's available, because that's something that people struggle to figure out. You can also use their app, which is a pretty good app and maybe even easier than using the website. Yes. So definitely download their app, or you can call 1-800-USA-RAIL, which is their phone number, and they will just do it all for you. So that's a foolproof way to go when trying to book your tickets.
Good. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this and this was very informational for you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and then like this video. If you have any questions about the California Zephyr, leave us those questions in the comments down below, and make sure to visit our website, our blog at www.groundedlifetravel.com, and we will likely answer all of those questions that you have right there on the blog. So go check that out, and we'll see you guys very soon.